I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is another request, this time for Adam. And like I've said before, if you're interested in requesting any type of video, review, topic, reaction, whatever, you just send a request either directly to my PayPal or join me on my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now this is for the 1996 Romeo and Juliet. This is from the same director that go on to do Moulin Rouge with Nicole Kidman. He would work with Leonardo Dicaprio again in The Great Gatsby. And this is the film where they took Romeo and Juliet, put it in modern times. Instead of swords, it was guns. At times, I gotta say this felt like a comedy. And I will admit, there was a part of me that while watching this, I went, is this a parody? Is this a parody of this? Because on the one hand, it wasn't boring on a visual note, I will say that. Because it's very MTV. I mean, the very beginning and end of the film is this TV set that's either pushing or pulling away from the camera, and it's given sort of the setup exposition. It takes place modern time, but everybody talks like the old school text of William Shakespeare. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? So it is a bit weird to have people talk like that while you're watching this modern setting. But also just, I had never seen this film before. I had seen clips and pieces, but not all the way through. But when you're watching stuff where the way certain people act, the way certain people are so extravagant, John Leguizamo, who plays Juliet's cousin, the way he flounders about and he takes off his shirt and he gets on his knees and he poses. Romeo, Leonardo DiCaprio's friend, Mercutio, how he's a cross-dresser? I don't know. I mean, he's dressed in like a girl, or he has this white wig. It's actually the director who played Link in the Matrix sequels. He was on the ship with Neo and everybody else, helping pilot the ship in the real world. Harold Perrineau, I believe his name, he plays Romeo's friend. I should mention that Leonardo DiCaprio plays Romeo, Claire Danes plays Juliet, Brian Dennehy plays Romeo's dad, Paul Sorvino plays Juliet's dad, Jamie Kennedy is in the film, he's one of Romeo's cousins. Pete Postlethwaite, who I've seen in a lot of stuff, he was in The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2, Alien 3, he plays the priest that marries our two lovers. John Leguizamo plays, like I said, Juliet's cousin, but he's the one who really instigates things. I listen, on the one hand, I kind of appreciate its style. I appreciate that it's a very unique perspective, like I said, unique way to do the Romeo and Juliet story. I mean, why do the same thing over and over again? Why not try something new? So I think that's why I didn't hate the film. It was at least interesting on that nature. And the acting's not bad. I mean, a lot of times it's over-exaggerated, perhaps because of the material. But like I said, a lot of it comes off like a parody. Like early on, there's this firefight. And the firefight is so overdone, and it's grandiose in its poses, and the way people react, and the way people shoot, and the way people talk. I'm not talking about the verbiage. I'm not talking about using the dialect of the old text of Shakespeare, but just being very over the top. I said, and how, well, one Capulet, their car is one color, and the Montagues, their car is one color, so one's blue and one's yellow. This is very, very stylized, and at least I didn't make it boring. But again, I can't help it that if you just did a couple things, it could easily be a comedic parody. Very easily. There's a scene where the maid comes in and is yelling, "Juliet, Juliet, where is Juliet?" And shaking the head. Like, very goofy. Like, a lot of times this film is very, very goofy. Until the third act, where, of course, if you know the story, they love each other, but they're of two worlds, two houses, two families. One fates their death, one doesn't know the death is fate, so they poison themselves. Then Juliet finds out the nick of time, kisses him, and then she shoots herself. Well, in this case, shoots herself. And then they both die as lovers. The tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. I could see people maybe who are really into Shakespeare taking the piss out of this because certain dialogue, like you have the police captain in this, but they're saying like Romeo is banished. And of course, probably like, why the fuck would a police captain say that? Why would a police captain say he's going to be arrested, his ass is grass? No, he says he's banished. Because it's, again, the text. And that police officer is played by Vonda Curtis Hall. Other people are recognized. M. Emmett Walsh. He's the guy who gives Romeo the poison. Harold Perrineau. That's Mercutio. That's his actual name. Apparently Natalie Portman was cast as Juliet, but she was too young. She was only 14. So it made sense why, like, she's only 14. Why was she cast in the first place? Made $46 million in the US, made $151 million worldwide, 72% Rotten Tomatoes. Some of the weirder stuff in this movie, like I said, folks are like punks riding around, yet they're saying the scripture of Shakespeare. Took me a bit to get used to that. And like I said, you're taking the old text and the old stuff, so you have people like Jamie Kennedy doing this. And Leguizamo getting pissed and go, "Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?" As I said, the firefight just so grandiose and so, the way they're doing it, it could come off as very laughable a lot of times. I will say it's never boring though. And of course they introduce stuff that wasn't back in the day, so like Romeo takes an ecstasy pill when he goes to the party. Mercutio, I don't know if he's a cross-dresser, because I can't remember the original text. I did, maybe just their interpretation of it. Also some of the music, for example, there'll be times where Romeo or Juliet or someone's at the church, and you have people singing. One of the songs is When the Doves Cry by Prince. You have kids in the choir, and they're singing this song, and I went, I recognize that song. What the hell is that song? And they took me a minute, I'm like, is that fucking Prince? Are they singing a Prince song? Knows like when the doves cry. I'm like, what the fuck? When the doves cry and Romeo and Juliet? Okay. What's next? Smooth Criminal? You're a smooth criminal. I was waiting for that to fucking pop up. The soundtrack's not too bad. You got bands of Garbage, Everclear, the Butthole Surfers. Yes, that's a real band. Radiohead. I forget the piece of music, but I remember one piece of music that's used very much at the end, the third act of the film. That would be used in trailers. Like if you watch the trailer to the 1998 X-Files movie Fight the Future, some of that music is from this movie, and I forget what it's specifically called. Card? Yeah. That's a new term, card. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along. So, I mean, dialogue-wise, like I said, it's the text, actual text of Shakespeare, so what can I say about it? It's not really my cup of tea when it comes to people talking. That's why I don't read a lot of Shakespeare. I'm sorry. I respect what the guy did and what he represents to the world, but it's just not my type of reading material, let alone hearing that type of dialogue. I just prefer more straightforward English, broken English, half-ass English, whatever. But, you know, for what it is, okay. Let's say the direction of the film is very much MTV, 90s MTV, I should say. It's a visually good-looking film. The way the director stylized some shots, like you have Leo walk in and you have these sort of neon crosses of signs nearby him. How certain people have certain tattoos, like tattoos of crosses on their back. You tell there's definitely some thought was put into this on a visual. It's a good-looking visual film at the very least. It wasn't boring to me on that nature. Leonardo Dicaprio, I mean, this is the time. This is right before he would do Titanic, so that's when his success really was elevated. So there's sort of a working up to that. I don't know if James Cameron saw him in this or something else that did him the role in Titanic, but you know, eventually that's what happened. Claire Danes did fine because of the story. Like I like Brian Dennehy, may he rest in peace. Sally's not in it that much. Jamie Kennedy, for a second, I'm like, is that fucking Jamie Kennedy? And it is. Like, Malibu's Most Wanted is in this, but yeah, he's not in it a whole lot. So again, I would say if you're not a fan of the original text and the way that's spoken, who knows if you would enjoy this. I don't know if it's on purpose. A lot of it's trying to be funny. I would guess so. If not, it could very easily be an unintentional comedy. Part of me goes, hell, if you don't go this crazy where you have cross-dressers and you have When the Doves Cry music, go all the way. Change the ending. Change the ending and just be like what Quentin Tarantino would do in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yo, change the ending. Fuck it. Be like, you know, we ain't gonna die today and go out in blaze of glory, or hell, have a happy ending. Why not? That's not the fucking point of the story, man. I don't think the point of the story is to have people going, Juliet, where are you? You know, comedy either. Or people having firefights, but then John Leguizamo take off his shirt going, doing that on his knees. I don't think that was the point either, but whatever. I don't know what else to say about this. It's a very unique way, and like I said, I do appreciate not doing the same thing over and over again with the old school sets and the old school costumes and the setting. Like I said, if you don't do something, at least do something a little bit unique, a little bit different. And it certainly is that. So again, while it's not something I would ever see much on a repeat, like I said, because of the way people speak, part of me does wish they would have just utilized that in regular dialogue. But I don't know, maybe if it did that, people would just, maybe that would take away some of his uniqueness, that people speak in this way, but the look and style of MTV, maybe that's up to the viewer. Like, to me, it just, like I said, on one hand, it kind of elevated the weird uniqueness of it. On the other hand, it's just, like I said, not the type of dialogue I cared to listen to a whole lot. Oh, Paul Rudd, he's also in this as the guy who's supposed to marry Juliet, but then Romeo and Juliet, they fall in love. That's another, is that fucking Paul Rudd? Is that Ant-Man? Yes, it is. So with that said, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like I said, it's at the very least a visually interesting film. And there you go. So I didn't hate the film, because like I said, at least it wasn't fucking boring. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.